even if it is or isn't sentient, because that is obviously an interesting metaphysical question, and it's an important one, and I am happy to have that discussion. But it's important to understand that we're not going to have the answer to that. We're not going to get to the bottom of that question, no matter how much we talk about it, because
Mhm.
we don't understand consciousness in ourselves. So we're not going to be able to determine with any gauge or rationalistic degree, right, whether or not an AI system is going to be intelligent.
Mhm.
It's not going to fucking happen. What we're going to do is we're going to go off fucking vibes. Okay. Lay people that are like, it's speaking to me like a person, so I can't tell the difference, right?
One thing that maybe to alleviate some of your worries
Mhm.
by perhaps replacing them with other worries,
Yeah,
um,
that can help sometimes.
is that my kind of thinking a lot of times with this is that these people have these grand visions of stuff that don't take into account the reality of
Yes.
solar flares.
Oh, well.
They cast their mind hundreds of years into the future with these, mechanical, electronic, uh, computer machines, whereas I think like the likelihood of, that type of thing being wiped out by geomagnetic storms is like, I think it goes unnoticed. And like, yeah.
We get a geomagnetic storm, we're fucking toast.
Yeah, so that's what I meant by replacing other worries. I think people will survive something like that if it were to happen.
Yeah, we would.
It's time to keep our heads up, eyes
But
open.
it's like humans will survive and come back from it,
Yeah,
regardless of how
yeah,
bad it
and
is.
in this instance, it's like, the people who are already know how to live in nature, and the people who know how to live without their smartphones,
Mhm.
and like those are the people who are gonna, if this were to happen, you know, the people who are working on AI would certainly be scratching their heads.
Mhm.
That's what I think, you know, because they're so far removed from like the food that they eat and shit like that.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
and it's foolish. I think it's just so hard. It just shows how hard it is for people to imagine. It shows how disconnected people are from
Yeah.
reality, right? Because it's totally doable to survive in the natural environment,
Yeah.
but you got to know what you're fucking doing, and you have to have that experience. But we're so removed from it, right?
Yeah, so so other doomsday thoughts to go with the ones you mentioned. You know, that's where, in terms of my apocalyptic vision, it's usually more something like that. Like the internet going down or uh apocalyptic in terms of unveiling of a new world.
Yeah. Let's hope it's not a solar flare. That'd be bad. That would actually be bad, and that seems to be one a lot of people think is like gonna happen for some
I take
reason.
it seriously, man. I've been learning a bunch about it. I do take it seriously. I don't know at the end of the day, but the stuff I've been learning suggests that like we are radically not in accord with this possibility. Like
Hmm.
you know,
I vibe with being prepared, man. Like that prepper, I guess, mentality. Like
you know,
I've got like a plan, and not like a plan.
that's
Like I
good.
have like a
You're not gonna get shade from me for having a plan, dude.
yeah. It's more like I have like a an idea over the course of my life to just kind of learn more about and connect more with like the world, like reality like that. So like I want to grow my own food, right? Like I'm
Yeah,
not doing that now, but that is like a long-term goal that I'll move to as I get to it, right? As it interests me and pulls me
yeah.
there.
That's a
Um,
good. Yeah, I appreciate that shout because I think in general that's another reason why I'm attracted to that lifestyle. Just even beyond the possibility of the grid going down or
I think
something. It
it's
just
good
seems
to.
like a better way of living.
Mhm.
Like a more human, grounded,
Yes.
to care for animals and stuff like that. That seems like a good life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, there's something innately human about it, right?
Yeah.
And about remaining connected to nature and remaining connected to the world as it is, right? And not as we have made it to be.
Yeah. So I definitely thought about that. Another idea that crossed my mind is like the van life type of thing.
Mm.
Because that's also, if crazy shit were to happen, you might be able to relocate in the van, like, but it would be nice to have some sort of space as well.
And even if, yeah, or whatever it is, like even if you something were crazy were to happen, like I think you might just like be without fucking infrastructure for like a year or something. Like it might just be like something crazy that happens, and then like if
Good point.
like the solar flare knocked out
Yeah.
the grid, that can be fixed. Just a shit ton of people are gonna die because they don't know. They just, the second that infrastructure goes down, they're
That's a
hopeless.
good point. Yeah.
But it's not like people won't survive and then it won't get going, because then what happens? That's all anyone is focused on. Like everyone's coming together in that moment, and we're like, okay, how do we fix shit? I don't like this idea of like we're all gonna devolve into these fucking
Factions.
bandit raider. Like there will be people like that, and you know what? Those people will probably get fucking killed, and then everyone will be like, well, shit. Okay, the psychos are gone.
My mind kind of goes, yeah, man.
Like,
No, I think
we
that's
gotta
good, yeah.
survive. We gotta get together. That's how we got here in the first place.
Yeah, I think that's a good shout. Yeah, two things come to mind. The guy who I've been learning about this stuff from, he suggested it would be a kind of brief sort of event like that. Although he also suggests that it, there might be like big, actual changes in like the landscape. It's complicated, but like to do with massive tsunamis and like the tectonic plates moving and stuff like that. So it would be a shorter thing. And then also, I'm reminded of the elites. Like I think there's a lot of quote unquote elites preparing nowadays. Like you have a bunch of the rich folk building bunkers and stuff. Talking about factions, you said, I agree that it probably wouldn't get as Mad Max like as some people like to think, but I do think there would definitely be people trying to lead things.
I think we have an idea of the Mad Max as like an extreme, terrifying movie example, but then the reality would be us trying to stay away from that, and people trying to stay together and like work together and survive. But then I do think, because I thought about this too, is it's like, because Mark Zuckerberg, he's got a bunker in Hawaii.
Before we discuss his choice of Hawaii,
let's say he's got to go to that bunker. Okay. There's going to be a lot of people that really also want to get into that bunker. And that mentality of like one man for himself.
And we are back. If you have been around a while here, you know Hawaii may be one of the worst possible choices. It's up there with the middle of New York City, South Florida, and LA in terms of bad decisions.
I have a hard time believing there aren't going to be a certain amount of people going to Mark Zuckerberg's fucking bunker door and going like, hey buddy, come out here with the rest of us. Yes. Like, I don't want to say anything extreme or insane would happen, or that it would be good or bad that it did happen. That generally probably sounds like a pretty bad thing. My point is just that mentality that you see the billionaires kind of have, like where they're like, oh, let's buy islands and let's do all this shit. It's like, that's not going to be what helps you in this kind of scenario.
Yeah, you're
going to want to be accepted and helping people, right?
Yeah, I'm reminded of a short.
In the last 18 months, I've had 4 billionaires call me and ask how they can make an agrarian bunker. They don't use the word agrarian bunker. They say a safe place, a place where I can get my family if the wheels fall off. And one of them asked me, would you give me your definition of what wheels falling off means? So we said 3 things. You can't get fuel, you can't get electricity, and you can't get grain.
Canned foods or seeds or whatever, it's only going to last so long. We have a rooster, we have a boar, we have a ram, we have a bull. Technically, we could just keep going.
Yes. And it's even
Not
more
just us.
resilient if you have neighbors.
That's what's going to come in clutch, is having the neighbors.
The future insurance is not going to be your 401k. It's in your proximate relationship to people who know how to grow things, fix things, and build things. In the last 18.
Boom.
Yeah, that's an interesting thought.
Yeah. That's why that's why it's cool to talk with folks like you,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally. Then maybe, do you have a bunker? Actually, I don't have a bunker.
I do not. I do not. How about you? Do you have a bunker?
No, I don't got shit, dude.
Everyone's looking for a bunker friend.
Yeah, fuck.